As long as it's not extraordinarily loud.
Okay.
As long as it's not extraordinarily loud. Are you extraordinarily loud?
In my headphones?
Yeah.
No, I feel it's all right. It's good.
All right. Let's...
Oh, sorry. Yeah. I'm so used to not doing anything. Fakakta Comedy Funhouse Network. Yes, ain't that fresh? Everybody wants to get down like that. Welcome to Couch Pilots, the show that dares to fly into the unknown territory of awful television pilots of the past. My name is Jason. I collect bottle caps. I'm sitting across from Blake, a.k.a. Philip Rest Assure. Philip, how are you this evening?
I'm doing wonderful, Captain. Pleasure to be aboard with you.
You look great. Your suit is pressed. Your breath is free of alcohol. Welcome
I
aboard.
hope so. I just took my galoshes off before I came up the stairwell, and so I'm ready to go.
I mean, we're recording this at a time where the East Coast is being double pounded by Winter Storm Jonas. Is this after the Jonas Brothers? Do we know?
It's a double pounding by the Jonas Brothers, which not many people would like.
Who's the most successful Jonas brother?
Taylor Swift.
And you know what? That doesn't sound right, but I don't know enough about the situation to deny it.
I think it is right. I think that she was the most talented of the One Direction.
The youngest, she's dated them all.
Right.
The youngest of a group always does the best, right? Because the group ages, and then the youngest spins off. And I'm going to say I've seen the Jonas Brothers in concert twice.
Really? I did not know that.
I have.
You have a daughter, so.
And she has. She came at the tail, like halfway through in the tail end of the Jonas Brothers. But before that was her older brother. And I'm sure he would hate to say that he liked the Jonas Brothers. But I went to the Peoria Civic Center and I saw them live.
Wow.
And when he was probably maybe 12. And then I took my daughter 5-6 years ago up to Tinley Park to see the Camp Rock concert, which was the first in the series, or the first in the tour was there. So I've seen the Jonas Brothers live 2 times.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
We won't be playing them on the overhead stereo for this flight, though.
We don't have licensing for them?
Right. You cannot play more than 13 seconds. We can play Happy Birthday till the cows come home now.
Oh, so you've heard.
Yes.
You've heard, and it's confirmed that Happy Birthday is public domain once again.
Public domain, yep. So if we have any frequent flyers that have a birthday, they should email us when their birthday is so we can sing Happy Birthday to them on the flight.
We'll do a full rendition of it. We maybe get a Six Peaks Orchestra in here.
6 Peaks?
Twin Peaks Orchestra. I got a question, not about Twin Peaks, but during the time where they said the 2 sisters, Patty Hill and Mildred Hill, was that they said that they wrote Happy Birthday,
right?
But they're long dead, and they've since been proven otherwise, is why it's public domain again. If anyone had to pay out to the estates for singing Happy Birthday, do they get that money back now that it's public domain? It's proven a fallacy.
That's a good question.
Maybe not for this podcast.
Not for this podcast.
What is a good question for this podcast?
What are the limits of life?
Oh, yep, that's a good one.
What kind of shows are we watching today? The final episode of season 1.
Right, yeah. So, as everyone knows, we're watching these television pilots from the 70s, 80s, 90s, the 2000s, and whatever's after that. We might even go into the future and see what that holds.
We could.
We could. It's our choice whether or not we want to time travel.
Nobody can stop us. Not even Charles.
Scott Baio himself from beyond the grave. Surely,
is he dead?
Surely he's dead by now. By the time this comes out. But yeah, we watched 10 episodes. That's the initial plan for the first 40 or 50 episodes, right?
Right.
10 different seasons, 10 chunks at a time, each in a decade. Today is the last one for the 1970s.
Episode 11.
Well, they had a pilot.
Right.
where we talked about things like Steve Aeronautical. Did I do that?
Did I do that?
Did we air that? Okay, let's get into what we're doing here.
Sure.
I'm going to press this button.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captains have turned on the fasten seatbelt sign.
Okay, so here on Couch Pilots, what we do is watch television pilots from the past that either never made it to air or were shown once and then deemed unworthy to continue. Some people remember these shows, some people search them out, but only Blake and I are brave enough to spend time developing a show around them. We search out facts, interesting or not.
Right.
We dig into reviews, we violate copyright laws and the like. And the least you can do is subscribe, rate the show, leave a review, and perhaps most importantly, tell your friends.
Yes, definitely. Tell your friends about our airline.
Tell them. Let them fly first class with us. We have so many shows on our network, and we look at the stats. We're numbers guys. You guys crunching numbers.
Yeah. Crunching numbers. Just like Al Pacino.
Pulling the tape out just like Al Pacino. He was
a big numbers cruncher.
When he passes away and we close the history books on Al Pacino, anyone who cracks that book open, they're going to see incredible monologues during his films.
Definitely.
Grade A number cruncher.
Grade A.
A grape ape.
Hooah!
Hooah! That's the
3 plus 3 is not 9.
Just when I think I'm out, they pull the numbers back in. That's the best you're going to get.
You're out of order. I'm out of order. You're out of order.
Are you looking at me? Adrian!
No, that's not out.
No, I very rarely take a stance against you. That is absolutely Al Pacino.
Okay.
Today we are watching the Forgotten Gem, and it's earned that. It should have been forgotten. 1977, Mason. Simply titled Mason.
Just the simplest. And if you listen to the last episode, EpiPen number 10, you would have heard the theme song to Mason.
Yes.
I had trouble sleeping that night.
Why?
It creeps me out.
It is. I have some thoughts along with that. But relative to what we're doing now, so it came out in 1977. Blake, we all have ages. In the capitalistic society we've created for ourselves, some of us have more ages than others, but the fact remains the show came out relative to a time,
sure,
to our own age. And the question is, Philip, how old were you when Mason was released?
I was 2. I was 2 years old when Mason was released. And I think it's important that we acknowledge this and talk about this on every episode because our decisions on our grading at the end might be impacted by our age.
Right. Maybe we'll strike one of these pilots that we actually saw, and it will have an irrevocable impact on our lives relative to the age we were when we saw it.
Unbelievable, those words you just used.
I just made half of them up.
They're great.
But seriously though, we're not going to fail you. I have an age. There was a day that I was born within a year, within a month, and I want to tell you what that is versus when the show came out.
Right.
And the answer for me, -4.
-4?
Yeah.
And Al Pacino would like, -4.
That's something.
Hooah!
It's like like Quentin Tarantino kind of has this little universe that he works within, and he'll pop up in his own movies. That's something that Al Pacino always did. He always stuck the phrase -4 in all of his films.
Yep, I remember that. I remember in Devil's Advocate.
Yeah.
He mentioned -4 during the sex scene with all the demon demon chicks.
What, and Scent of a Woman?
Yes.
He was who was that? Chris O'Donnell, right? He was taking him around, and he's like, how many women have you been with? -4. Yeah. It's like, that doesn't make any sense.
Right.
It doesn't fit there.
And he was in Frankie and Johnny. He was the cook.
Yeah.
And he's like, order up. What -4 orders?
What number is it, Johnny?
-4 is behind.
Cha-ching. Yep. It's a little nod that he does. I don't know, like Carol Burnett would tug on her ear to say hi to her mom.
Right.
Maybe that's something he did to communicate with somebody.
Sure, could be.
We don't know the answer. That's a fact. I'll tell you that much.
It is a fact. But it's not for us to decide the status of that fact.
Oh, heavens no.
That's the listeners.
Heavens no.
You got last episode. You got a little bit squirrely with that rule, so just make sure you're.
With the facts.
Yeah. because you were giving what you thought of that fact.
I have to separate my personal feelings versus what I owe this show, my promise to you in this show.
What kind of show do we have if we don't have parameters and rules? I mean, we would just be going all over the place.
Right. I can't even remember what we were talking about at the beginning of the show now, but it's not...
Snow.
Right, and it's not for us to talk about here.
Right.
That wasn't appropriate. And you said, I said, what did we talk about? You said limits. We have to have limits. You're absolutely right. Yeah. So... I promise, going forward, I will never interject my own personal thoughts about whether or not a fact is interesting.
Okay.
That's my Couch Pilots promise to you and all of our frequent flyers.
I like that. You know what? I appreciate you being a bigger person and stepping up in front of everybody on the flight and saying, "Hey, before we take off, I'm -4. I'm proud of it, and I have facts, and it's none of my business if they're right or not."
None of my business. None of my concern. I have opinions. I'm going to leave them on the tarmac.
Right. Maybe that should be our new slogan.
Hashtag leave them on the tarmac, right?
Yep.
Hashtag it. Get out your red pen and write that down. So this is the 10th show we've watched, and we don't pick these shows arbitrarily. There is a strict protocol that we follow. Is there any way, Philip, that you can elaborate on this?
Sure. There are 3 essential ways that a show can be picked to be featured.
Let's count them down, starting from -4.
-4. Was it a pilot that did not go to series?
Okay.
-5 was it free?
Yeah. Very important to me.
Right. And -32 is, could we find it?
Yeah. So you say 32?
Yeah. If you divide -4 by -3 and multiply it by 2.
What do I look like? Al Pacino to you? I don't know these numbers. Don't fancy pants me with your 3rd grade arithmetic, all right?
Do you remember the movie that he was in with Jonathan Goodman and he was a police officer? I don't remember the name of it.
Copland?
No, it was an older one, and he
Copland 2.
The girl in the red dress. There was this hot girl in a red dress, and he ended up he was like
The Matrix.
No,
well, okay. I'm sorry,
but and there was another one. Do you remember when he was the cop in New York City and he went undercover in the gay leather
Serpico?
No.
Dog Day Afternoon.
No, it was a different one. I'll look it up.
The one where he played Dr. Kevorkian?
No. Let's just move along and I'll
we're going to get this.
I'm going to.
Okay. While you look it up, I'm going to tell everyone where you can watch this pilot for yourself. Do you want to watch Mason, the show we're doing? Why wouldn't you? You obviously got nothing better to do, especially if you're listening to this show about that show. Go to YouTube. Search Mason Reese TV pilot. His actual name, and I don't think we ever got to what his name is on the show. We'll talk about that too. But his real life name, the young man who played Mason, is Mason Reese, Reese, Mason Reese TV pilot. Go to YouTube. Or you can click on the blue link, and it's imperative that you look out for blue.
If it is not blue, get the hell away from it.
There was an old saying that my mother, when I was young, when the internet was kind of coming out and it was the Wild West, and in many ways it still is. What's that?
The internet's gay?
When the internet first came out and said I'm a homosexual, I dabble in servers with the same gender as myself.
I got you.
My mom would say, if it's blue, referring to the links, if it's blue, let it through. If it's black, take it back.
Right.
That's what my mom would say.
If it's fuchsia.
Yeah, exactly. If it's fuchsia, the end.
The movie, the Al Pacino was a New York City cop and went into the gay leather scene in New York, was called Cruising. And that was from 1980. Other films, which Panic in Needle Park.
Great movie.
Obviously, The Godfather. Serpico, which was really good. Mm-hmm. Dog Day Afternoon. That was
great movie.
I was 0 years old when that came out, and I really liked that movie.
You were birthed as they were walking to Mann's Chinese theater?
He plays a race car driver in Bobby Deerfield, which I've seen that. And Justice for All. You're out of order. I'm out of order.
This whole court system that we're currently presiding within is out of order.
Right.
Verbatim.
Scarface. Oh, here it is. Sea of Love. That's where he was Detective Frank Keller.
Okay.
And that was from 1989, which... in our terms, I would be 14 years old.
Mm-hmm. Me still -4.
Me so horny? So
Cruisin'. Now that's the film you were referencing to begin with. Now is the word cruisin'? Is that gay slang for something?
That's where it came from. A police detective goes undercover in the underground S&M gay subculture of New York to catch a serial killer who is preying on gay men.
I love it when we're cruising together.
Oh yeah. All right, I'm sorry. I'm taking us off kilter.
No, that's fine. I'm just telling everyone, go to YouTube, Mason Reese TV Pilot. Search for that. Click on the blue links provided in our show notes. Blake, if I was someone who was looking for show notes, where would I go?
If on iTunes, you'll see the show notes. If any podcast app, you'll see the show notes. Yep. If you go to our fan page on Facebook, when the show comes out, the morning it comes out at 5 a.m.
Boom!
The whole show notes will be on our instantly.
All up in your business. Mm-hmm. So many. What other reasons do you need to like our Facebook page, right?
There's no other reason needed.
Oh boy.
Well, there's pictures of us.
Not the picture. Like it was a couple nights ago. I sent you that photo.
No. It's the one where we're back to back.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah. Check out that photo, man. Incredible.
Oh man. Oh.
Flight attendants, prepare for takeoff, please.
Here we go.
Noises.
It's a little snowy outside today.
It is. Maybe we should turn on the high beams.
Okay. Whenever you're ready.
No, I'll be. Jeez. It hasn't allowed. I clicked the left one. And you clicked also the left one?
No, I clicked the right one.
Okay.
All right. One.
Well, -4.
-4.
-5. -32. Click. Ah, much better. Looks like it's going to be smooth sailing from here. Summary of the plot. Internet says a boy genius, gay internet too, I should mention.
Yes, very gay.
A boy genius constantly befuddles his parents and sister. Okay. This is a sitcom.
Sure.
It's 22, 24 minutes. Yeah, there's so much more they've packed in there, but that really does... Those 8 words really sum it up.
Sure. He was short, so they probably used, a word per 2 inches.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how I would add up summaries.
Isn't it amazing how math just is involved in everyday life?
Yeah, I remember being a kid, I'd be like, 2 + 2, when am I ever going to use this? And here we are, 5 years later.
Right.
And again, I failed math, so... I assume it's 5 years.
It's around there.
But here we are using math. My teacher was right.
Right.
I should have paid attention.
Yeah. See, your dad hit you for a reason.
Oh yeah. And it's days like this and circumstances like this where I understand why I was beat as a child. At the time, I'm like, oh, this is happening to every kid right now. Nope.
Right. You said that to yourself just to get through the day. I mean, obviously. So
oh, sure. Oh, yeah.
You didn't go after your father with a knife.
That came later. That's when he took away all my LPs.
You're Alvin and the Chipmunks.
I'd even played I played the 33s on 45.
You rebel.
Now bear with me.
Sure.
What I'm about to say. This portion, before we really dig into the plot of Mason, we talk about interesting facts.
Ooh, okay. We don't know if they're interesting.
Right.
That's for the listener to decide. You're just going to read facts. You're not going to give any kind of...
The name of this segment is called Interesting Facts. Okay. It's not our take on them.
Right. Okay.
Within the segment Interesting Facts, we present you facts.
Okay, I got you.
Okay, you decide. You decide. This unsold television series pilot was filmed in 1975 and sat on ABC's shelf for 2 years before it was finally aired on July 4th, 1977.
Well, that messes up our age thing.
It does.
We don't have any rule for that.
We don't. I guess we'll... this is Couch Pilot signing off. I'm not even going to go back to the math.
That's crazy, though, that somebody paid for them to make this.
Yeah.
And then it just sat on the shelf because nobody would buy it for 2 years.
By my count, there were 4 sets in that. You had the parents' room, you had the living room, you had Mason's room, and you had Creepy Guy's apartment.
Links, yeah.
And that's it. Those are the only sets you have.
Sure.
So I'm sure the amount of funds were...
Right, because they were very basic, very tight shots.
Yeah. Boy, there's some good facts coming up, I'll tell you. Not for me to decide. But it is not uncommon for things to sit on the shelf. But for 2 years, first of all, that shows, hey, we do not have any confidence in this.
Right.
2, they put on July 4th when everyone's out watching fireworks.
Right.
This was seen by 8 people max.
8 people max. And then, what, it sat on there for 2 years. What if somebody did end up buying it? He's 2 years older on the second episode. You know what I mean?
You thght that little bastard was ugly then.
Right.
Wait till 2 years kicks in.
Wait till 30 years later.
Oh, I've seen him lately. It is like when you read Where the Monsters Are, or you know what I mean? That book by Sindlak, or whatever that guy's name is. I swear to God, he's in that book.
Could be.
He's a living monster. I'm sorry, Mr. Reese. Suddenly, the Child's a Man. That's the name of the theme song.
And it's by something in the Lettermen?
It's by Arthur Hamilton and performed by the Lettermen.
Okay, all right.
Now, the Lettermen, they're not the one who sings Surfin' Bird, right? That was the Trashmen.
Yeah, I'm not sure who the Lettermen. I mean, if it would have been the Math Men, I would have known, but Letterman, I don't know.
I'm really trying to get away from this math stuff because I don't know it. I feel really insecure when we're talking. I mean, we can, if you want to get into it, we can.
Okay, sorry.
That song, you said it creeped you out?
Yeah, it was just creepy. It's like, dun, 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 dun. And they're saying stuff. It's like, his cute little face, his tight little butt. A
boy genius constantly befuddles his parents and
till he becomes a man. It's creepy.
And you know what? It's not him walking around scenes from the show. It's just still.
Yeah, it's still photos of like let's put him in these weird outfits from the 70s. Mm-hmm. And then at the end of the song is when they after all the still pictures, then they show him going up to a door, getting out his key, unlocking it, and going in, saying...
Just a boy.
And then saying, I'm home!
Just like he's hard day at work.
Right.
Or just a kid walking around New York City, where this is based. Just whatever you want to do, kid.
Yeah.
It was a different time. And I think during the beginning, one of the still shots is him reading a book called Dr. Spock.
Right.
And in the song, they reference him reading that book.
Yeah,
like everything is so... It's like they did blatantly literal.
They did a photo shoot, and then they gave all the photos to the guy, and he's like, they're like, write a song.
Do something with this, jackass.
Right. Boy, the leaves are sure turning. Look at that massive mane of red hair.
Oh, boy. Just a fountain, right? Just like someone pinched a hose, and then boom, red hair. Suddenly the Child's a Man. That's the opening song. The end song, called Mason Knows, also written by Arthur Hamilton, also performed by the Lettermen.
That one wasn't as bad.
Now, is this... I didn't look into it. Maybe I should have. The Lettermen, is this like a family... Is this David Letterman and his family as a quartet or something?
It could be.
I'm a huge Letterman guy.
Yeah.
I honestly, as much as I watch late night television, it has gone down to almost 0% since he's been off the air. I'm just still like emotionally wrecked from it.
Really? You're still having issues, huh?
I'll occasionally watch Kimmel or Seth Meyers, but it was like clockwork. Letterman, then Myers, and then now it's just nothing. I'm just devastated that he's gone.
Okay. The Lettermen is an American male pop music vocal trio.
So far, it could be David Letterman still.
The Letterman's trademark is close harmony pop songs with light arrangement.
Still could be Letterman.
The group started in 1959. Mm-hmm. They did the theme for Summer Place.
Okay.
When I Fall in Love. Going Out of My Head.
Nothing so far says this can't be David Letterman to me.
That's true. Oh no, sorry. It was Mike Barnett, Dick Stewart, and
David Letterman.
Tony Batuta.
Now, was that David Letterman's AKA or not?
I don't know. It could be.
It's impossible to say. I will tell you a little bit about Mason Reese, the person. This, again, it was made in 1975, released in 77. He was born in 1965, and he is a former child actor who appeared in numerous television commercials in the 1970s, particularly for Underwood Deviled Ham, Post Raisin Bran, which I enjoy, and Dunkin' Donuts Dunkin' Munchkins brand donut holes.
Yep, my favorite.
He's also a frequent guest on the Mike Douglas Show, and I know you've got something to add to that. Reese, the youngest son of William Reese and former actress Sonia Darren, had a verbal precocity, red hair, and slight lisp, all of which made him a recognizable figure. He was a frequent guest again on the Mike Douglas Show. He appeared in numerous commercials. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, that's about it. He also appeared in a documentary, I think.
Yeah, he was when he was on the Mike Douglas. Is that show?
Yeah, yeah. And you watched a YouTube video on that, right?
I couldn't watch it, but there is one episode where he is sitting with Leonard Nimoy.
Oh, okay.
They were both on the same stage at the same time, and so to me that was really, really a symbol of our first season of Couch Pilots. We started with Leonard Nimoy and Baffled, and we're ending with Mason.
It really wraps it up nicely. Mm-hmm. Because you had mentioned to me that he was in the Michael Douglas Show crying.
Yeah, he was crying. I was looking, and I couldn't watch it. After I watched the show, I said, and then I saw pictures of him like now.
Yeah,
I couldn't bring myself to watch it.
It is. Again, 3 networks at the time. You had 3 choices when you turned on the television. So probably tens of millions of people watching this. And I think he's sitting next to Mike Douglas, and he's kind of professing to him. I think he read him a poem, is what happened. Mm-hmm. And at the end, he tells him that he considers Mike Douglas to be a friend of his. Right. And he starts crying, making for very awkward television from, and pardon me, this sounds very vain, but a very ugly child.
Oh, like he got beat with an ugly stick. Oh, just horrible.
Nowhere.
I would have drowned him.
Just like you would a litter of cats and unwanted cats.
Right. Because they don't like water.
They hate it. So they give up immediately. They stop fighting you. They don't even try to survive in water. And not only in the TV show, Mason, but also his Wikipedia. Nowhere did I see, this kid has this disease. This kid has an ailment which causes him to look the way he does.
Right.
This is, for all intents and purposes, just an ugly child.
Right. Just an ugly kid who, when he was little, was like the ugly cute kid.
Exactly.
Know? But when you turn 12,
puberty hits you.
That's not cute anymore.
Nope.
Your ugliness is not cute.
A great example, Jonathan Lipnicki. The human head weighs 8 pounds. Jerry Maguire. Remember that little bastard? Yeah, my God, just adorable. Weird looking kid.
Yeah.
Little weird looking. Yeah. Adorable. You just want to snuggle up. I don't know if I want to snuggle Reese, Mason and Reese, but again, had that ugly kid effect where it makes him immediately recognizable. Right. And because of his speaking proclivities or whatever it is, makes him affable. So, none of which did anything to help the pilot. So let's get into that.
Let's dig into it.
Let's talk about it.
I got my pages of notes here.
I have 2 pages as well. Oh boy!
Sorry.
Proof positive. There are multiple pages. Okay, so you got a family recently moving to New York City to accommodate what they say is their genius level intellect of the child to accommodate his schooling.
Sure.
You got the father, Howard, and the mother, Peggy, who these people are in their 50s.
Right, and it even says, like, he's his dad, like, is getting out of bed. He's like, why do I have to get out of bed at a certain time? I'm retired.
Yes.
But yet you're retired, but you have an 8-year-old son? And then come to find out, your daughter is like 50.
I looked it up.
She's 23.
33, I think. I think based on his age, which they said was like 8 or 10 in the show, plus whatever, I think I worked it out to his early 30s.
It says 20. It said 23.
Did it really?
At one time she said she was 20. Or your 23-year-old sister.
Oh, I thought she said I'm 23 years older than you.
Oh,
and then I was
okay. It could be.
And then I was adding the 8 or 10 what he was. I was like, okay, but she's somewhere in there.
Yeah, she's an old lady. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. So, are we just talking? You go from the beginning, or are we still setting up?
The opening scene right after the credits, and he comes home with his key. It really sets the pacing for the whole show. Like he said, Howard, the father, gets out of bed. I don't know why am I getting up this early. And he's talking to the bed. Because his wife's still in bed. He's like, why am I getting up this early? Why are we setting the alarm? I'm retired. I should be able to do what I want. He's like, hey, speaking of having this extra time, why don't you and I, let's take advantage of this.
Right.
And he starts to snuggle up on his what he thinks is his wife. It's not.
No, not at all. Mason pops up and, hi, Dad.
Oh, jeez. Just terrifying.
Oh, God. And like instantly that voice.
Yeah.
It like, let's say you flip the channel on after the theme song.
Yeah.
And you're just seeing this guy talking to this bed. And then all of a sudden, this big moppy-haired redhead just looks up and, Dad?
Boy, I would be scared out of my mind.
I've been scared out of my mind the whole time I watched this.
The audio quality is not great. His piercing voice does not help anything. And again, you're going to hear some fairly pervy things happen, and this really sets the tone. This adult talking to a bed like he's about to get it on Marvin Gaye style, and there's a child in the bed.
Right, yeah, and that is it continues throughout, like you said, but just that nasally voice. If it just like I'm going to stick some cotton balls up my nose here, and then I'm going to try to talk only using my nose.
Yeah, I think that pretty accurately describes what's happening with him. The kid leaves. I think the mother comes back in the room, and they're kind of just.
Bob's making breakfast.
Yeah. Oh God, that voice. Did you practice it?
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah,
paying
Molly. I said Molly. I got to work on this. I want to be on the show more. I want to. It's like Saturday Night Live. I'm trying to stay.
Oh yeah, stay proactive.
Yep.
Be current. Good strategy.
Thanks.
So they're in the room, and again, setting the tone for the rest of the show. The father seemingly wants nothing to do with this child, does not like him, finds every reason to get rid of him. It is off-putting how, he probably thought, 20 years ago, I'm done being a dad. I got this broad. She's, 15 years old. In a couple years, will be done. And then here's a surprise 10-year-old now he's got,
right.
And then but now he's like, I just want to retire. He hates this kid.
That's one of the first things I wrote down was Dad seems to be annoyed by Mason. Like everything about this, like really the whole show except for the part in his bedroom. The dad rips on the kid every single chance he has.
Yeah.
And it's like, it amazes me. I'm like, no wonder this kid's all screwed up. His dad hates him, and to be honest, his sister hates him.
Everyone does,
except his mom. And his mom says stuff behind his back.
Yeah. The father just seems to really do have a genuine dislike for him, and that. When you're talking 22 minutes in a show that never had anything beyond that, it's hard to. I know they want to take characters and kind of try to define them and get them in a rut, but they got this guy in a rut immediately. Yeah. Like he's like, he does not like his own son. They talk about who he is. He's an 8-year-old genius. I think it is said in there. 8 years old. He loves magic.
Yes.
Just moved to New York City.
Math.
Goes to school. I think at one point they say, "All right, I'm going to school."
Yeah, he's like. Okay, I guess I'm going to go. I'm going to go ahead and take off. And he takes his books that are stacked together and strapped with a belt or something, and goes to school. And he makes jokes, of course, of that. How everybody hates him and teases him. And
everyone hates this kid.
Right, everyone hates this kid except one person.
I got to tell you a secret before you get to that one person is. I hate Mason.
I want to punch him. If I was his father, I'd feel the same way.
I'm going to Owen Wilson that nose right back to where it should be. But I wrote that down too because he comes home from school and he throws down like it's the 1930s or 40s with that strap,
right?
Like a belt instead of a book pack.
Who knew that an algebra book wouldn't go down the toilet? And they're like, "Why'd you try to do that?" He goes, "I didn't. The kids picking on me did."
It's because they all hate you, darling.
Right, and he talks like he's 36. His one-liners are all like they're the level of intelligence is like a 32-year-old writing these jokes for this 8-year-old to say.
And how do we know they're supposed to be jokes?
Right,
the laugh track.
Oh yeah, yep.
The laugh track kicks in. Boy, I think I'm just so the shows that I like anymore, and I'm just in the modern era. I'm so conditioned to not like laugh tracks.
Yeah.
Like I really like. I'm a fan of the American version and the British version, but the American version of The Office and like 30 Rock, and these are single camera shows that there's no laugh track.
Right.
And I'm just modernly conditioned not to like it, but here it is again, rearing its ugly head.
I think in the 70s and the 80s, it was just a hot thing to do. It was kind of like 3D nowadays. It's a hot thing to do. Even if it's unnecessary, you still do it.
Yeah, everyone loves 3D. I know I'm a big fan. What's the most recent film you saw in 3D?
I intentionally don't go see them in 3D now.
Okay,
Bug's Life or something.
Oh wow,
no. It was after that. It was the kids one.
I saw Star Wars in 3D.
Let's see, I wouldn't go do that.
Well, I did it for the kids. Did it for the kids
because your kids are nothing like Mason's.
Oh yeah, if Mason came up to me and said, was like, "Hey, Jason, I want to watch Star Wars in 3D." I said, "Why don't you get the hell out of here, you ugly bastard?
Go fuck yourself. Go do some magic tricks, you little
Jump
shit.
in front of a truck, you moron."
Right. So then, before he even comes home, that's when they introduce the daughter. The daughter.
Yeah, they're like, this kid needs a friend.
Yeah, this kid needs a friend. We just moved to New York. He hasn't even unpacked his suitcase yet. Oddly enough, our daughter lives in New York. Obviously, hopefully not too far away, and has her own kid.
Yep. Probably about the same age.
We're going to call and have him come over and hang out with your daughter.
Yep. And that seemed like when she made that call, it's like, we're going to send Mason over. And you couldn't hear the other side of the conversation,
right.
But it was obviously negative.
Right.
Just like, to reinforce that everyone hates this boy.
Right.
And I mean, besides, he is a little annoying. But I don't think he doesn't seem like a bad kid.
No, I think he's just smarter than all of them.
He's smarter than him. He's a little annoying because of that, and he's ugly as sin. So I think those three things do make a child be hated.
Yeah, and one of the things I noticed is like you said earlier about coming and going just to school in New York City, just alone by himself. He's like, "Oh, I'm walking through Central Park." Like, "Oh, okay. I don't think at 8 years old you should be." Even Louis C.K. won't even let his kids walk themselves to class.
And I kind of live my life based on the things that Louis C.K. says and does. So to me, that was a great indicator that these are bad parents. And you're talking about, I don't know if I love the movie The Warriors. Do you ever watch The Warriors? Great movie from the late 70s about...
Oh, is that when Hulk Hogan wrestled him?
Yeah, when Hulk Hogan was Thunderlips, and he wrestled...
The Ultimate Warrior.
He wrestled the Ultimate Warrior, right, in the subway station, and Yokozuna picked up the subway cart,
right,
and spun it like a basketball in his finger.
Yep.
Great movie. I feel like
I thought I should have said I have seen it.
Okay,
I remember that.
well, surely you've seen it then. But to me, A Dangerous Time in New York, the late 70s. Son of Sam killer.
Oh, sure,
is out there.
Sure.
Hey, maybe they're like, you know what? I talked to other parents. None of them let their kids go to school because it's so dangerous. I hate this kid.
Yeah.
Let's send him out there. Maybe something will happen to this little punk.
He has a high IQ, so obviously he can fend off burglars. And obviously he can't.
Well, maybe not burglars, but other odd things are out there. Mason finds a new friend. Finally, after just a series of negative encounters with family, relatives, people at school, he goes to the park after coming home, I think, on his way back from school.
Back from school and finds a friend.
Oh, thank God.
Link.
Linkovich
Chomelsky from Encino Man.
I did not. Is that in the show notes?
Our show notes are the movie.
Click a blue link to also on our show notes, the IMDb page, to confirm that name.
Linkovich Chomelsky is his name on Encino Man. Because they're like, what's his name? And they're like,
Brendan Fraser?
Yeah, Linkovich Chomelsky.
Mom, Dad, I got a new friend. He's going to spend the night tonight, and we're gonna go camping.
And we're going to camping tomorrow. It's like, oh, I met this friend. He's going to spend the night. I didn't talk to you about it. Oh, we're going to go camping tomorrow. And again, I don't really need your permission because I'm Mason.
The parents are like, oh, he wants to spend the night? Okay, cool. Camping, we're going to have to talk about that. But you have a new friend. This is great. This ugly little punk needs a friend. Bring him over. We would love to meet your new friend.
And then the dad's like, oh, yeah. Well, before he comes over, the dad is like, oh, great. I'm going to have to take him. I'm going to have to get up and crack of dawn
again,
and spend time with my fucking kid.
Reinforcing the fact that he hates his own boy.
Right.
And then you get that knock on the door. Knock, knock, knock. Who is it?
Link.
Oh, thank God Link is here.
Yeah, just little buddy.
Little 6'2" buddy,
right,
42 years old.
Wearing really tight shorts.
Wearing those, and it's even more pervy now.
Right.
Because that's not necessarily the fashion is for people to wear those short shorts.
Right.
But then it was a little bit more, I think, acceptable. But to us, it looks really bad.
It looks really,
and they're
creepy.
holding hands.
Yeah, and like Mason keeps going and trying to hold this guy's hand, and it's just really, really creepy. Like if your daughter, who's like what, 10 or 11,
she'll be 10 soon, just
came in the house with this lady holding hands with her, you'd be like, whoa.
I'd probably give her a scissor kick to the back of the head. It's very off-putting.
It's very off-putting. And like, this is just like number 2 on the list of why this is a big pedophile film.
Yeah. How many episodes of the Junkyard Gang, Fat Albert? How many episodes of Silver Spoons do we have to watch, or Different Strokes about kids being abducted, kids being pedophilated. How many
Pedophilated?
I that's what I think it's called.
Let me Google that.
Okay, Google that. Google image that. Bring it up.
Oh no.
Plus, I'll bail you out. But how many episodes of those classic '80s shows do we have to watch to know that this dude is probably up to some devious shit?
Sure. Why would he be talking to this kid? And it just seems so calm, And so then they're like, whoa. The parents are like, whoa.
The parents are slightly off.
Well, yeah,
they're pretty cavalier.
Yeah, but he ends up going home.
Yeah, they cut to a commercial, I think,
Sure.
at that point. And then when they come back, Link is gone. They kind of discuss that.
And then the mom's like, this guy, he might be a pervert.
Dun, dun, dun,
Dun, dun, dun. And then the word pervert gets thrown around 3 or 4 times between the two, him and his dad. And so Mason's all mad because they sent this guy home.
Yeah.
They sent Link home. Good time for the dad just to put on the old 8-track player with the 30-foot headphones.
It had the curly Q, like old-style telephone cord going. But those things are awesome, aren't they?
They were huge, but they are best quality ever. But
I was thinking about this. I was thinking, wouldn't it be cool to go out, and I'm sure at some retro stores, if you go to like a Goodwill now, maybe you could find it in the 90s, but you can't find it now. I think people would pick that shit up pretty quick. But to find some of those old headphones, kind of take them apart, refit them with modern technology to make it work. How badass would that be?
Sure. I mean, those had to be heavy too.
Oh yeah, there's those just massive, like the original Beats by Dre, but it's got all that metal in it.
Sure.
And everything.
And like that's what they listen to, like
so
The
cool.
Wall by Pink Floyd.
That's when you were permanently tethered to your turntable, and you had to listen to all your LPs that way. But really cool. Those would be just imagine Bluetooth walking down the street with that.
That'd be cool.
That'd be so bitchin'. Maybe a little neck support because of the weight.
Well, John, who works on the tarmac, who does with the cone things.
Yes,
he wears those.
But no. Okay, I see what I get what you're saying. Those are actually for sound, like to block the sound out.
Oh,
because there's so much
I thought
sound.
he was listening to like the Led Zeppelin albums while he was like directing our plane when we were getting ready to take off.
I know he's got that angel tattooed on his bicep, the Led Zeppelin angel, and I think he is a fan for sure.
Sure,
but he's not listening. That's something you have to wear for protection, for ear protection on the tarmac.
Because I'm always talking to him and he just nods his head.
Yeah, he's also got Down syndrome. So,
well, good for him. He's got a job.
No, absolutely. Those people need to work. They're capable to do so. So, John, thank you very much for your efforts.
Thanks, John. So Mason is mad. Can't go camping with his buddy. His buddy can't spend the night.
Mom's off dusting somewhere. Dad's occupied with the headphones.
And yeah, his dad doesn't even use a pillow to lay on the couch. Just lays on the couch flat, which I was like, that's odd.
No budgets for pillows.
Right. Only a pedophile would do that. So Mason takes his suitcase and sneaks back out into the wild streets of New York.
Makes his way into the city that will ultimately claim his life.
And this is the only 5 good minutes of this whole show. So
I know exactly where you're going with this.
So he sneaks over to Link's house, knocks on the door.
How does he know where Link lives? How does he know?
Already.
They
just met this afternoon.
Say. Say, Link's got one hand down his pants.
Call back from the future.
His other hand's writing down his address. One hand in his pants. One hand writing down his address. He gives it to Mason. There's no GPS back then. Mm. There's no interwebs. What is he doing with that address?
In New York City, is super hard. There's like all kinds of street names and numbers. It'd be difficult to find where you need to go.
It's a sprawling urban landscape. How are you going to find that apart? He does.
He's got a high IQ.
He's a genius.
He is.
This kid's a genius.
So
he does. No one home. Doors unlocked. So he goes in there. He hides in the closet. Link's not there,
and it looks like his apartment has been burned.
It does. Everything's very dark.
Charred.
I tell you, it's a cool apartment though.
Oh yeah.
It seems kind of low end apartment-y. It's supposed to have that feel. But he's got a barber pole.
Right.
He has got.
Doesn't he have a knight? Doesn't he have a knight in armor or something?
Oh, I missed that. I did see a wooden cigar store engine. He's got a really cool old school smoker stand for his ashtray. A lot of cool things in there.
Definitely.
Just swinging bachelor life.
Well, so Mason hears the door.
Yep.
Goes and hides in the closet.
Yep.
Door opens. It's Link. And the girl with the perkiest breasts yet we have seen. There's a blonde, good looking.
Yeah.
Perky breasts. It was just a brown sweatshirt on.
Bimbo.
You don't know. She's probably a nice lady.
I think she spoke fairly
bimbo-ish.
Bimbo-y, yeah.
Yeah, she was total bimbo, but she had the perkiest, pointiest breasts you ever saw. I think they probably paid more for that than anything.
Well, he's and yeah, she was the highlight for me. Bernice. She for me was the highlight of the show.
Oh, definitely. I would give her a 7.
You give her a couple Brian Hackett's?
Yep. Believe me, I'll give her a
You'll hack
couple
at those things?
I'll give her a couple Brian Hackett's right in the eye.
He pulls Mason aside. He says, "Hey, Mason, I got a girl here. Of course you could stay here, pervert, but you can't right now because I've got this girl here." So he sends Mason on his way. Mason gets home, right? Oh, you got something to add for the apartment?
Yeah. He's like, "You don't want me?"
They keep saying that.
"You don't want me?" And then Lee says, "Of course I want you." That is what, just like, I was like, this...
To me, this is like if we go back and watch every episode ever of Growing Pains and we keep talking to Michael Seaver's friend Boner.
Right. Exactly. So you're right. He leaves.
He goes back to the house and he says, "You didn't want me." He had a girl over, and to me, the only funny part in the whole show is when the says, he kicked me out because he doesn't want me, and he's got a girl over, and the mom says, "How old was she?" Right. To me, that was the only funny line in the whole show.
Right.
And because it was this guy is obviously a weirdo hanging out with kids. How old was this girl? He's like, she's a normal adult age.
But they didn't even know he was gone. Right. Link had to come back over to their house and be like, "Hey, is Mason here? He left my house kind of upset." They're like, "When did he?" They didn't even know their kid was gone.
And then he shows back up. He goes up to his room, pissed off. Link takes off. And again, at one point, the father, Howard's got his hand on Link's shoulder, like, "This is all cool. It's okay."
Right.
I'd be like, "Get the hell out of the house. Right. Don't ever talk to my boy again, you weirdo."
But yeah, the mom's like, wanted the dad to talk to Mason about SEX.
Oh, and that spells, of course, SEX.
Right. Yeah.
Because we can't say what that word.
Like that blonde bimbo.
Yeah.
I would have SEX with her.
I would also probably enjoy some SEX with that blonde bimbo. They spell the word sex 8 times maybe. Yeah. They cannot say it. They will not say that word, but they do spell it.
Right.
So
it's amazing that their kid has such a high IQ.
Yeah. The father, his hatred for his son reaches a fever pitch, and then the decline starts, and he actually opens up a little bit to his son. This is the only part of the pilot where he goes in there and he's happy to talk to his son.
Sure.
And he says, "You know what? You don't. The only thing you can't own in this world is people." I think that's one of the things he says, and he says, so you can't like boss people around or just approach people like you can live with them. You can be friends with Link. They tell him they can be friends with this guy.
You can hang out with Link, but you can't expect him to do whatever you want.
Oh, and by the way, Mason has frog wallpaper.
Boom! I knew. I was waiting for it to happen. Every episode it happens, I put creepy frog wallpaper in his room. I was just waiting for it because there's always one that me and you both catch.
Yeah.
Wow, -4 to you, buddy.
-4 to you. Right back at you, pal. And then, like, at the end of the show, Mason leaves to go hang out with Link.
Right, just like, we're going back out.
The end. That was the end.
Yeah, they had a father and son talk. There was a love at the end. I think they spit on each other's hands and shook hands. Oh. It was just really awkward, and he's like, "Hey," he looks out the window, and for some reason, Link just wanders around because he's like, "Hey, Link, wait up."
Yeah.
After this 5-minute conversation I've had with my dad, when you've been gone for 10 minutes.
Yep.
Hey, Link, wait up. I'm gonna go hang out with that bimbo of yours and have
SEX. Boy, I am wiped. Let's listen to a quick promo before we wrap this show up here.
Do you like craft beer? Do you like music? If you don't like either of those, I hope you at least like laughing. And if I've still got your attention, the reason I'm asking is this. I want you to check out my upcoming podcast called Drunken Lullabies. I'm joined by my co-host Blake Szymanski and a rotating cast of characters. We do beer reviews, play music by bands we think you need to know, make you laugh a lot, and hopefully get you tipsy right along with us. We'll be bringing you a new episode every Sunday, and we hope you'll close your weekends out with us at Drunken Lullabies. We'll educate you on new beers to try, new albums to hear, and make you laugh at non-stop pop culture references and juvenile behavior, which is what you've come to expect from the Pakakta Comedy Funhouse. Look us up at fcfnetwork.com. We'll see you on the Sabbath. Cheers.
I think we should start charging him to play this promo. I mean, this show is blowing up.
His show is blowing up. Yeah, they're doing awesome.
So, I mean,
I'm very excited.
How do you feel about -$4?
I mean, we're kind of brothers in arms with this thing.
Sure.
But I am totally on board with that.
Okay, I'll send him an email.
Good promo. Great show.
Definitely.
You like drinking beer? You like
craft beer.
You like crap beer? You want to listen to cool music? Check out Drunken Lullabies. Those guys are funny. I've been on a few episodes. Blake executive produces them all.
They won't have me on.
Well, you don't drink beer, fella.
Yeah. I think that's an oversight.
You should just smell all the beer
and just spit it out. They take a drink and swig and just spit it out of their fancy dancy beer.
Please remain seated as we are now crossing a zone of turbulence.
To me, the show should have just been called Turbulence. It is 22 minutes.
Turbulence?
Flatulence. No, I like Turbulence better. Why didn't this show work? Let me count the ways.
Sure. Just the whole pedophile feel is a huge reason. Mm-hmm. You have an ugly kid who...
He's only going to get uglier.
Right. He had 5 minutes of fame.
Yes.
I want to see you on a 30-second commercial. You're cute. On a half-hour sitcom, you're fucking butt ugly and annoying.
Yeah. Not a great premise for a show. Not funny.
Creepy.
It is creepy. But what would we do to improve it, though? How would you make that show better? Like, if you wanted to keep Mason Reese as the centerpiece of the show, what would you do with him?
Well, I would bring his sister back in the house and rewind her to where she's just either like maybe 2 years older than
age
him.
Appropriate.
Right. I'd youngen up the parents a little bit and have them have a hectic life.
They don't explain.
They just fucking sit around the house and then they can't even keep track of their own kid.
They're pretty awful parents. They don't explain why there's such an age gap, why they're much older than this, being older parents. They don't explain any of that. They don't explain why he's a genius necessarily. Maybe there's a reason behind it. Maybe there's some sort of lineage in their family that would direct him to that. They don't explain why he is seemingly deformed in the face. Right. They don't discuss any of that stuff.
Right. Even in The Mask, they explain it about why that guy's fucking face is jacked up.
Did you? Yeah.
That's the only movie I've ever seen, I guess. I bring it up every episode.
Yes, you do bring it up, but well deserved. I wish that was a pilot show. We would do that for sure.
Sure.
Boy, if this went to series, what would I do to improve this? I don't know. Maybe use his intelligence. Maybe make him like a super sleuth or a super spy,
or just have him interacting with a bunch of kids.
Yeah, maybe like a
preschool or his first grade class or whatever. Make him, okay, he's smarter than all the rest of them. Well, make that into something funny with a bunch of little kids, not a grown-ass man holding hands with him.
Yeah, I agree with that. Maybe in terms of a bunch of kids, maybe he could be the new alfalfa. Maybe they could have rebooted our gang, right?
Sure.
And he could have been one of the little rascals. Yeah, if it survived, that's what I would like to see.
Yep.
I'd like to see that.
We're in agreement.
Okay, good.
That's a fact.
Hey, that's a fact.
Jack.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we start our descent, please make sure your seat backs and tray tables are in their full upright position.
I don't know how this got on YouTube. I'm glad it's there because
he put it on. He put all that stuff on YouTube of his commercials and his it's all his stuff that he put up on there.
I did read an article. It was from the AV Club. It said, terrifying 70s child star Mason Reese has been posting old clips of himself to YouTube. So type in the AV Club and Mason Reese if you want to read that article. But I didn't know if that was him who posted that pilot on there. I know he's been posting other stuff of himself.
He who posted dealt it.
Yes, I agree with that.
I can't tell. When you don't like one of my jokes, is that where you pause and just let it sink?
I'm just trying to think of something to say to it.
Okay.
But you've, in that one sentence you said, you've encompassed all there is to say. There's nothing left to say.
Well, sometimes I don't feel funny because you just stop and you're like, oh, how do I recover from this?
Between the spaghetti, betwixt the spaghetti westerns that you write and this show, it's the funniest you ever are. I can't keep up with it. I've got too many things I'm trying to do here. I understand your pain on IBWIP.
Right.
I understand that now.
That's why I'm not funny on that show.
You are I didn't say that. I definitely didn't say that. Listen to IBWIP. Go to IBWIP.com. Please subscribe to the show. Every Friday we release one of those.
Every Friday.
Like clockwork. Final Descent. We're taking this ship, this airship, in for a landing.
Careful, there's a lot of snow on the runway.
Right. We got John down there sweeping the runway, getting it ready for us with his winged Led Zeppelin tattoo. This is where we talk about how this show was received. IMDb score, probably one of the highest ones we've had, 7.
What?
A lot of our things hang around 6, 5 territory.
Yeah.
7. Rotten Tomatoes, nothing. Viewer reviews, none. Critic reviews, none. How is that possible?
It was one person. It was probably him who rated it as 7. There was probably one review, and it was
in our scoring system. That'd be a perfect score.
Oh yeah, believe me.
He's not getting that from me. Good. Hey, nice try, Mason Reese.
Good try, buddy.
And it probably was. There's probably one person who saw it, and he's like, "I will not comment on the show, but I will give it a 7."
I'm afraid this guy's going to kill himself, so I'll give him a 7.
Not a lot out there. I thought there'd be more. I'm always surprised when there isn't. A while back, we watched the show Evel Knievel, and it was easy for... I think it's easy for that kind of thing to get lost in the mix because you're dealing with someone who was a big figure in pop culture at the time, so there's a ton of stuff out there for him. Mason Reese, not the case. He was just this flash-in-the-pan kid on the Michael Douglas show. He did a couple commercials, and then I think, hey, it'd probably be easy to find information, reviews on this show. No, not the case. It was
because nobody wants to be tied to a pedophile show.
That is true.
Nobody wants that on their record.
Nobody
wants to be... Even the guy who directed it probably has already offed himself.
With any luck. Let's you and I talk about how we feel about the show. Specifically, let's put it in terms of numbers.
Okay. -4.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to FCF Airport. Local time is 11:11 and the temperature is 69 degrees. For your safety and comfort, please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the captains turn off the fasten seatbelt sign.
Our intro and outro are ripped from the 90s TV classic Wings. Why shouldn't our rating system be any different?
Exactly. It's called uniformity.
That's right. And I will take your word on that. We have a scale 1 to 7. We take all the classic characters from the Wings show, and we assign them in the order in which we like them. Roy Biggins, we don't like.
Roy Biggins is bad.
He is morbidly obese. He is
stinky,
slimy,
sweaty.
He's got that obese person odor. When someone gets so fat, there are areas that cannot be cleaned, thus developing an odor. He has got that.
His sport coat has like sweat stain out of the armpits.
Everything's slightly yellowed in the what is it? Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, God. This is our first couch pilot puke. Roy, number 1. Can't get worse than that.
Right.
Boom, 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 boom. Up to number 7, the highest you can go, Brian Hackett.
The man.
Walking around with that brown leather bomber jacket, picking up anyone. Hey, guess what, lady? I'm a pilot. Boom, lady on the left arm. Boom, lady on the right arm. Running down the runway with John.
Right, exactly. And he's got his own business.
That's right. Sandpiper Air.
Great looks. Looks that will last him for generations. He'll be in front of the camera forever.
There's not a year that goes by that I don't go see a film starring Steven Weber.
Thank you.
What do you give Mason 1 to 7?
Well, I've been known to give some big biggins. I have been known to do that, and there's been some shitters.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for those shows, I saw them before I saw Mason. Right?
Yes.
I will tell you what, though. Normally, I would give this a 1.
Yeah.
But today, I'm going to give it a 2. Because that blonde girl's breasts were so perky.
Yeah.
And that was the only time, luckily, the only time during this episode that I got a boner. Any other time if I would have got a boner during this show,
Yeah.
I would have had to go seek some professional help.
You would have fallen in line with the pervy atmosphere that's been created.
Right.
Now, you're talking about boners.
Bernice.
First of all, the boner police.
They live inside of my head.
They live inside of Mason's bed. You mentioned that you usually get a boner. Now, the shows are between.
I didn't mention I usually get a boner.
The shows are usually between 22 minutes and 90 minutes. How often do you get a boner during our shows? And would you consider it a milk boner?
Of course, it's a milk boner.
A
meta milk boner. That's the only kind of boner you can have. We just got a text message from a frequent flyer, and it actually says on here, it says, that new episode of Couch Pilots gave me a raging milk boner. I just saw that. Like it's 7:46. It's now like
raging milk boner.
Yeah.
God bless that frequent flyer. Some of our conversation, I was saying, am I going to give it a 2? Am I going to give it a 3? I'm going to give it a 3.
Okay.
I like the intro song. It is creepy, but I like catchy intro music.
Sure.
And then her bosoms, Bernice's bosoms. God. I was thinking probably a 2. This is pushing me over. There's no 2.5s here. No. We go all in, all or nothing.
We round it off. You can't have a decimal to the left of you, a decimal to the right of you.
No, not even a little bit. I'll give it a 3 because of the bosom, because of the intro song. 3 is not good. 4 is middle of the road.
Right.
3 is not good. It's not a good show.
No, it's not.
I don't recommend anyone watching this.
Unless you're a pedophile. If you're a pedophile, this is a 7.
Maybe we should put a separate link in there that go directly to this woman's boobs, so you could just skip all the crap.
Well, I'm thinking about getting because I looked online under Google Images to try to find a picture of this lady.
Right.
I couldn't, so I think I'm gonna screenshot it.
Yeah, and then make a poster of it?
Oh, yeah. Put it above my bed.
That'll be our new background on our Facebook page. Okay. I think that's all I've got. I do want to say that...
Did you turn off the high beams?
Oh, I probably should now that we're landed. Because it's going right into the terminal. It's blinding the guy reading the USA Today in there.
Right. I have not turned off the wipers yet.
Ready?
Okay.
-4, -5, -32. Okay, good. Whew. Safe landing. As usual, please, everyone listening, and then go grab your friends. Join us next time when we watch the pilot episode of Walter. Here's a little something to wet your whistle. Oh, Walter, you had a show once. You can find the entire episode on YouTube. Search Walter TV Pilot or click on the blue links.
Blue link. We will give it to you. We always give you the link to the show that we're reviewing and a link to the show that we're going to review the next. So you can get ahead.
Yeah. I think a lot of my friends, my daughter even, would say, you're a penny pincher. You're stingy. You're stingy with money. You're maybe I like to think I'm careful with money. You're stingy about maybe giving time to this or that. We are never stingy here on Couch Pilots with the blue links.
Not at all. I mean,
we give out the blue links like they're GD candy,
and they're good blue links. They're not welfare blue links.
Right.
You know what I mean?
These are hard.
These aren't the Family Dollar or Dollar Tree links. These are high-end links.
Click those links, won't you? And if you do decide you don't want to click the link and you want to just search Walter TV Pilot, there's an asterisk between each letter, just like in MASH. Yeah. And there's a MASH tie-in that we will talk about. Also, check us out on CouchPilotSPodcast@gmail.com. Send us suggestions, thoughts, ideas. Send us your cat's flesh color, not their fur color. You're going to send us like mismatched pairs of socks. Maybe your favorite, cover band.
Sure, and don't forget that by emailing us, you earn frequent flyer points.
Yes,
that's if I want to make anything known. There's 2 things I want to make known.
First one,
3 things I want to make known.
The third one.
First one, Mason was a horrible show. 2, interact with the show. You know what that sound is?
That's your frequent flyer points adding up.
Booyah.
And it's not like it's okay. So what? I got all these points. What am I going to do with them? I don't know. Maybe you want to sit in the studio with us and hang out.
Maybe you want a pair of aviator glasses. Maybe you want one of the surprise
We have surprise things.
Surprise prizes.
Right, surprise prizes that we're going to hand out as long as you accumulate enough points. And there's only one way to do that, by listening to the show every week, by rating us on iTunes, rating us on Facebook, like us on there, email the show. These are all the different ways to accumulate points.
We watch, and we put your name in the system, and it looks through all this stuff, and there's algorithms that have a base number of -4 that go and do all this. And you know what? Every morning when I wake up, I turn my alarm off on my phone, and I go to our frequent flyer app, and see who's got so many.
The machine's always crunching numbers. I think it's dubbed the Pacino app, isn't it?
Right, exactly. We call it the Pacino, and I mean, I have to turn the volume off because it goes.
Yeah, like a little. Yep. I know exactly what you're saying. Great app.
Why don't you ever keep it at your house? I've always got it at my house.
I'll take it home with me.
Okay.
I'll set it right next to the toad on my counter.
Okay.
CouchPilotspodcast@gmail.com. Go to fcfnetwork.com. That's our home. That's the network we belong to. There's so many shows on now. We're adding shows. We're actually right now in the process of judging whether a couple of new shows want to become part of our network. Right. People are coming to us and saying, "Hey, what do you think? Listen to my show. Are we putting out quality program? Could I be with you guys? Can I hang with the big boys?
Right.
I don't know. Can you? We're going to decide.
We're going to decide.
Couch Pilots, Sex with Heather, Drunken Lullabies, S&M Radio, IBWIP, the song Inside and Out. Now the new show, Low Below Podcast.
Love it.
A couple of funny guys out of Chicago.
Right.
We love them all. So should you. I've got nothing else. Do you have anything else you want to add, Blake, before we take off the plane here?
No, I don't. It's been another great flight. The weather outside was frightful, but this flight was very delightful.
You know what? I will say it better. That was close. I will say it better. This pilot may have been rough, but it's always a smooth flight here on Couch Pilots. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next time.
See you later, everybody.
On behalf of Couch Pilots and the entire crew, we'd like to thank you for joining us on this trip, and we are looking forward to seeing you on board again in the near future. Have a nice day.
This has been a Fakakta Comedy Funhouse production, produced by Jason Tosher, executive produced by Blake Clayton. For more information and content, go to fcfnetwork.com.